Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WOR. We are here for Monza, the Italian Grand Prix. Sorry, I just need to make sure Ross's audio is on, or otherwise you will not be able to hear him. Anyway, first things first, I'm going to say hello to Cameron's dad because he always comes in. He's always the first commenter in a Tier 1 console chat. So hello, Cameron. But Cameron's dad even. But Ross, I mean, before you said that this is up there with one of your best favourite tracks, Monza, Italy. We've just had it in real F1. The Tifosi are wild, and it's going to be a wild, wild race tonight, isn't it?
No, yeah, absolutely. Welcome along, everyone, again to another World Online Racing stream. And yeah, as you said, again, my absolute top tier favourite track. How can you ever fault the Temple of Speed? You know, it is fantastic how good the racing is. Of course, in real life, it was another fantastic race for Charles Leclerc win in there. Could it be another Ferrari win tonight for Justin or Gabor? We'll need to find out, but of course we know how close this championship is getting. Cameron Dowds, of course, now leading the championship, second place TTM Furious. The title with every race matters so much more this season. So honestly, as you said before the stream, every race you just don't know who's going to turn up and take the top step. But as we know, Cameron Dowds, what to expect from him, what to expect from Furious. They just need to keep scoring points and get to the end of the season where they could be in a big championship fight.
Now, before we head to the standings, let's talk about Abu Dhabi and what happened last week. Oh, not last week, last time out, which was 2 weeks ago. It was Joe Murphy wins with Cameron Dowds in second and then Furious in third there. It's really changed the landscape of this championship, the Abu Dhabi race last time out. Some interesting, I don't want to say interesting names, it's a different order to what we're used to here in console tier 1, but Joe Murphy back on it. It's looking like he's in back to his normal self. But let's cast our eyes over to the standings before we head over to the track, because they are on there at Monza and we're going to get some times in very, very shortly. But it is Cameron Dowds that leads away finally this season, Ross, and is this a turning point now for his championship fight?
Yeah, I think it has to be. We're at that stage of the season now. I've had the week off. You know, we know that there's not going to be another break during the season, so these drivers now need to kind of get themselves in the right shape, look at where they are in the standing, and see how close they are to a title. So Cameron at the back end of last season, we know he was 3 in a row. He started off this season not in a good state at all, but now, as you look at the stand, you said he's now hit the top. Can he hold on to that peak TTM Furious? As we know, will be chasing him. Furious never have one to write off of course, that first round in Australia where he was sort of gifted that win by the collision between Barrichello and Joe Murphy. You can say it's been lucky at times, but overall, Furious' performances have also been very phenomenal.
And sometimes you've got to ride that luck in a season, in a championship, to get into where it is all about. But enough of that for now. Let's head over to the track and see how it is all panning out. And it is, well, no cars have set a lap time yet, but I believe it's going to be a Haas, the first driver. It's not TTM Furious. It is going to be his teammate. When I'm looking down the order and I just can't see who his teammate is at the moment. It's really bad of me. It's Barrichello, isn't it? So Barrichello, who we know is very, very good at qualifying laps, but at the moment he has been beaten by both Ryan and Joe Murphy. Ryan's doing a fantastic job this season. Cameron Dowds, second place so far, but Furious only managing 6th. Qualifying has not been his forte, has it, Furious at the moment?
No, he's never been a good, I don't say good qualifier, but he's never been a top of the qualifying sheets all the time. You know, he's always been in that kind of mid pack of 10th, 9th, and 8th, which, of course, starting on the points, you can't really complain, but he knows he needs to be in that top section. Those top 5 points are just so crucial for him at the start of this season. You never know what happens to Cameron during this race. Cameron up in second place, as I said. Joe Murphy 18.4 is the benchmark for the rest to beat. I believe that was PGR Andrea jumping into the top 7 as well. So the times are ticking in now. So a couple of drivers just getting themselves started. TTM, Flopman's in the pits. That Hazara just coming around the final corner is Hazara. He's going to set his first lap, but it looks as though the 18s are going to be where you need to be. So the people in the 19s are going to have to find that time in the second lap.
They definitely will, and they were all out early, weren't they? Setting as much, well, as many lap times as possible in this session. We will have obviously that restart between qualifying and race. Apologies, guys, if you in the off screen, when you see Ross and I's face, you see me just duck out the screen quickly. There is a very good reason for that. I don't have a chair at the moment, but we won't go into that. But qualifying at this stage in the race, it's not the stage of that, it's the stage of the session. Is it better to be towards the top, or do you think just set a bank lap? Because Joe Murphy right now, he's got a tenth over Cameron. It shows he's fast, but sometimes that shows that that's your limit. That's your you've reached your peak. So we just see GF10 Giovanna go across the line into 7th, knocking Andrea, who had previously got that position. But yeah, do you think they just reach the top of what they can actually do in time when other drivers push on and do faster?
Well, as we know, of course, some drivers are very good at qualifying. I am confused that we are all retiring. I believe something's went wrong in the. Oh, yep, the time of day is wrong. We are going to restart, unfortunately. The time of day is, I think it's supposed to be on midday, but it's unrealistic, and that's why they're all complaining about the shadows. Obviously, all these drivers, of course, as we know, they're all no assists, so you need those turn-in points to be very. It's quite clear for all of them that there's obviously shadows and it's kind of annoying them, therefore we are going to have a quick restart, unfortunately. The World Online restart has returned.
I really think Joseph needs to trademark that one, because he's definitely had a good win with that. But yeah, World Online Racing is just having a quick restart, and we will be back.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
Huge EA Sports going in the background for us to hear. But yeah, please bear with us while we get the lobby back up and running and sorted. I don't want it screaming in my ears either. So we'll be, well, I suppose maybe it's time to go back to the standings, as I just duck out of the screen again. Go to the standings, and we see, obviously, we've spoken about Cameron Dowds and Furious and Flottman. We have touched on Ryan. Ryan's there purely and simply from being Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, how can you fault it from Ryan? He's had consistent results all season. It's kind of showing in the standard, of course. He has got drivers behind him like Quantum who have had their off races, they've had DNS, have had points, put races out of the points, but they're getting podiums, they're getting chances at wins, which is what the kind of thing that's holding Ryan back from properly pinning a title charge. I think is kind of his issue. Obviously, scoring all these points is good, but as you can see, though, he's 24 points still off of Cameron Dowd, and Joe Murphy's only won 2 races, and even he's ahead of him. So I think it's now time for Ryan to really kind of start to knuckle down and get those final laps in, be a little bit quicker, and try push for that podium, push for that race win, and really kind of get a trademark win in Tier 1, and also try and go for a proper title charge here.
And he's capable of it. I think that's the thing we need to speak about is okay, he's consistent, but he's up there for a reason, and he's doing a really good job of that. Towards the bottom end of the point score, we've got Volakongan there in 10th. And Justin, which is not we know how quick Justin can be, but he's just not performing on a console tier 1 WR level right now.
Yeah, as we know, Volakongan, someone you can always look at to be good in the grid, as Justin as well. But yeah, as you said, 25 points at this stage in the season is something they won't want themselves personally at a personal level, but of course, driving wise, they would expect to be shooting for more points. Volakongan, as we know, especially in the legacy division for Team Shizui, he was really performing for Team Shizui, and now all of a sudden, obviously, he's kind of had that slump in this game, which I think a lot of drivers are suffering from this particular game. It's not been a fantastic game. We all know it's obviously had his issues, but it's not really much of an excuse, of course. Volakongan's he's had the pace at times, but overall, it's just the consistency and then the qualifying hasn't been there. But as I said, at Barracuda as well from the start of the season, he was second at one point. He had 18 points from the first race of the season. He was second, and now he's not really gained on that. He's only had 20 points in the last sort of 5-6 races, which, if you're going for a title and going for these race wins, it just doesn't cut it in the end.
It's really unfortunate as well for some of these drivers that, I mean, no one can get all 25 points each race, but you would kind of expect some people to be up there. But it's great for us and the viewership to see so much good battling away between the two. well, between every driver in there, because it's so close at the top with everything that you don't really know who's going to take victory. I know we spoke a little bit in length about that, as we're just hopefully the we're going. I think all the drivers are in. I think they've forgotten about us.
Yeah, I think that's. I was going to say. I think you just pointed that out. Everyone's in, bar us two.
We're always forgotten about though. Apparently there is a driver that's missing as well. But yeah, we like this sort of towards the back end, the business end of the season. We want to have constant battles and points, 5, 6, 7 points between the championship leader and second place, or even fourth place. You want it nice, close and tight, don't you?
Yeah, of course. You want it to be as tight as possible all over the track. But when you aren't getting those fights, obviously as a viewer, it isn't to be great to see. But at the front of all it really matters is at the front. You want to have that title fight going into the final race, because you want to have something to look forward to. Everyone knows we're always used to having, like Kai Pearson, Liam Bowman, Otis Lawrence back in the day, of course, dominating these races. We all knew the outcome before it even started. But now, of course, we're at a point now where everyone's kind of spread out. No one's really a standout compared to the rest, and they've all got the pace, they've all got the consistency to go out and win the race. Now it's just to see if it goes their way in the end.
Yeah, and that's it's great. Sometimes you were thinking, so how much is Otis Lawrence going to win this race by, or Tom Manley, or Thomas Ronha? You were expecting like 40 seconds, which is great. That's also, that's got its appeal as well. You kind of want someone that's flying away, but these guys are all kind of at the top of their game right now, and it's great to see. It's good things. Very, very shortly we will be back on track and back racing for qualifying, and hopefully the settings are correct. I'm just eagle-eyed on the settings right now, and it does look right, but we'll wait and see. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to take pole position here tonight, whether it's going to be a lovely... do we have any Italians in the grid, Ross? I'm just looking.
I think Matteo is, but Matteo's not here.
Yeah.
Our Matteo was. I'm not sure about the rest of them. I really have no idea.
I'm just thinking if it could be a perfect weekend or Friday night for the Tifosi, but no, it's I don't think we have. But yeah, is it going to be someone that's going to extend their fight in the championship, like Ryan? Imagine if Ryan won this race or got pole. It's going to be, he will be really, really happy about that. The other thing that I wanted to just quickly touch on within qualifying, starting P1 isn't necessarily the best thing, is it?
No, yeah, but everyone knows obviously the slipstream on this game, but also at Monza is incredibly powerful. So as you said, yeah, maybe starting P1 isn't always the way forward in life. You want to maybe start P2, get tucked into that slipstream early and try to go for first place on the inside line, but say you get a poor start, the other driver ahead gets a better start than you, and they defend the inside, and that always cuts it off, and it means that the pole position was a lot better than you might have expected. But yeah, as you said, pole position isn't necessarily the most fantastic place. Of course, it's still the front of the grid, but yeah, as you said, the chances of the cars behind you overtaking you are so much higher.
So let us. I'm trying to. Yeah, let's go onto the track and see these guys back on qualifying terms, as I just throw my mouse around in here. But yes, Barracu is again the second session in a row. Granted, the other session was only like 10 minutes ago, but 2 sessions. Barracu has decided, I want to be the first car out. It's quite often, I've got to admit, Barracu's the first driver out. Do you think that's like a tactic of his to just try and, right, I want to get a lap time in?
Yeah, I mean, he's also done his practice. He knows where he wants to be in terms of getting the first lap in. So, yeah, he also knows where he wants to be. He's actually let his teammate go through there, Furious. So Furious gets back past Barracu, so maybe he doesn't want to be at the front this time. But yeah, he's done his practice. He'll know where he wants to be. Everyone just wants to get out as early as possible, because obviously this game's different. There's no longer this brake dragging, really, really long outlap time. It's all about pace, getting the tyres warm and keeping them warm. Because as we know, the tyres cool down very, very quickly in this game. So getting the tyre warm, it's crucial, and holding that heat is kind of the big bit. So going down the straight here, of course, Furious just starting off the first lap. We need to see what he can put together in terms of a banker lap.
Yeah, and let's see how he handles the pressure heading into Varante del Lithia. I can't do the first one. The next one is the Curva Grande. But yeah, I will get these names bottoms out, and I'm probably doing the Italians not very much justice at all, as here comes the here comes TTM Furious into turns 5, 4 and 5, and he's made a big mess up there. That is huge for someone that really needs to do as best as possible in this one. Let's see, it's not. Oh, and Ryan's invalidated as well. So it does look like, after all this, Barricue is going to be the first driver to set a lap time after letting 2 drivers through. Here he comes down the hill, up, then slightly back up the hill as you go into Varante Ascari, or as we know it, just Ascari, 8, 9 and 10. And you could lose so much time through this if you don't push it to the absolute limits, but you've got to be careful pushing it to the limits, because if you go across that white line, your your lap time is invalidated.
Yeah, of course, the limits are so tough in that first sector. You know, the Variante della Roggia chicane is something that is, as I say, a lot of people say RNG, as the curbs are not that great at that corner. When those, you can either get it perfect or it'll send you flying. Unfortunately, Furious did that big mistake on his lap. He won't get the better of his. Cameron Dowd jumps to the top for this time. Can Joe Murphy reclaim that top spot that we've seen from last time? No, he can't. He's into the pit lane, so no improvement for Joe Murphy on his banker lap. Hazara's still on a lap. A couple of people just crossed the line. Barricue still second. Volakong and Flopman jumping into third. Brando, he also just finished a lap but invalidated on that 1 and the 2 GT10. K-Quartz and Ghost King say 9 and 10. So a lot of mess ups this time, and PGR Andrea jumping into 9th place there right at the back end of it. But yeah, a lot of mess ups here early on from the likes of Joe Murphy and Ryan.
Yeah, and it's really unexpected, isn't it, from those guys who we were expected so much pure consistency from. Maybe we put them at too much of a high standard here. Andrea looked like he was very much, glitching down from turn 10 to Parabolica. And I mean, a lover of this track, I'm going to ask you a question of where can this race be won and lost, A, in qualifying, and B, in the race?
Well, I would have to say that the most crucial parts of the lap, especially in qualifying, got to be set to turn 1, getting turn 1 and 2 almost perfectly, and then, of course, the De La Roggia chicane, as I said, it's so RNG, so some of them, of course, will be struggling to get it right, but if you do get it right, you've got to hook the lap up after the rest of it. Of course, Lesmo 1 and 2 isn't too much of a difficult corner. The Ascari chicane can be easy, but more for the race. I seen it, of course, on Sunday in the in AEC, was that at turn 1, Joe Murphy actually overtook a Shizou driver to go through turn 1 and 2, and then still managed to lose the race. Going down that final straight towards the Parabolica corner, should I say. It is so easy to overtake if you've got battery left. If you've got the wings low enough and you've got battery left, the overtakes are so much easier going into that final corner.
Yeah, Parabolica is well known. I mean, most of this track is well known, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is one of the most historic tracks out there with Silverstone, Monaco, and Spa. I don't think you really get much more iconic than those 4. I think there's definitely a few more we could mention, but Brazil and Suzuka to name a few. But Joe Murphy then starting a lap time, 12 minutes left of the session. A few other drivers coming through now as well. But into the first Varante, turns 1 and 2, a big lock-up, but you never know if it's the game just being a mess, isn't it, or if it is actually a lock-up. But it looks like he's handling the car well, so hopefully it means that Joe Murphy's going to be able to pull out a good lap time so far. But into the Sector 2 and the second Varante, hopping over those curves as best as possible. It's looking good so far.
Yeah, as I said, they just went through De La Roggia chicane there at turn number 4. It can be so RNG, but it looked okay there for Joe Murphy. Maybe slightly wider than he would have liked to be, but nothing that's going to harm his lap too much. He just jumps onto this small straight here down towards the Ascari chicane, as we all know and love. A corner, whereas, as you said, though, very, very easy to invalidate from. If you go a little bit too wide here, it is easy to do with Joe Murphy. Gets it almost perfectly, a little bit wide of the apex at turn number 10, but nothing that will harm him too much. Coming down this straight, surprisingly no DRS down this straight towards Parabolica. Then one last corner to go, and it's a complete straight run to the line. Get as tight to that right hand side as possible. Get on the power. Get the ERS on. He's done everything perfectly so far. Can Joe Murphy jump to the top of the session? I believe he can. He definitely can. And 18.2 is the time to beat so far.
And that is just, well, 3/10 quicker than his original lap time in the other session. Obviously, it's a little bit later on in the session, so the track would have warmed a little bit, I guess. The track bedded in maybe a little bit more. There goes Gabor into second place. We know how good he can be in a qualifying session. We are on TTM Furious, who's through the second Lesmo now. A little bit of pressure, not too much. I know we talk about this week in, week out, about how drivers need to get a banker lap in sooner rather than later. They don't want to be leaving it to the absolute last minute. But he's doing a good job at the moment because he hasn't invalidated. Yes, he has. Hopefully my lottery numbers come in tonight. NLR Ryan then, let's see what he can do. He's come through the second Lesbo now, and I'm going to stop talking because I don't really want to jinx this man right now.
Yeah, you do not want to jinx Ryan. We just saw Furious was a little bit cagey, I thought, going into that corner. He wasn't too sure on the turn, and Ryan has done the exact same thing as Furious. Ryan and Furious both invalidating once again. Second run down, 2 invalidations. I tell you what, the confidence. Oh, someone's in the wall actually on the exit of Ascari. That's Kay Gatkowski in the Mercedes there on the wall on the exit of the Ascari chicane. Not sure what's went on, but nothing too good. Barracu actually gets a lap together, and he goes into second place ahead of NVR Gabor. Cameron Dowd is just finishing off his lap, just coming through Sleds Mode 2 now. Can he be the one to break this curse that we've created now, Gareth? Can he get through the Ascari chicane cleanly?
Well, I've just looked on board with Justin and not said an absolute thing, but he hasn't been able to do it, and neither can Cameron Dowds. This is possibly a huge thing. I think Volokonkan may have just finished his lap time. I don't know if he's... Yeah, Volokonkan's just finished a lap. Furious, who else is on a Quartz? Are you've invalidated? I wonder if you did that at... I think everyone's doing it at Ascari. I'm not sure whether we've upset Ascari, the Ascari gods, or if we've upset the drivers. I'm not sure, but they're coming through. Maybe Nick. Is Nick on a lap? Nick is coming around the final corner now. He's coming around Parabolica and going into the pits. So we have some respite because drivers are, well, invalidated Ascari. And we mentioned you've got to be absolutely on point in Ascari, or otherwise you lose a heap of time or you invalidate.
Yeah, you can see just if you're not committed to the corner, like I seen with Furious, he just wasn't 100% on the turn, and he wasn't so confident to turn into that corner. He looked a bit sort of fidgety on the wheel, and you can see how it ended for him. Another validation, 8 minutes to go in the session, not even a lap time on the board for Ryan, for Furious, a man that sits second and a man that sits 5th in the standings. You know, 2 drivers you wouldn't expect to see down there in 18th and 17th as of right now. I tell you what, missed though, Gareth, Tom Roberts into 3rd place. Ahead of Gabor, splitting Gabor and Barracu. So he is on pace today, as it seems he usually is on pace, just never seems to be fighting for that win. But we do have Ryan, we do have Joe Murphy back out on track. Can Joe find the 17.9 as early as 7 minutes left of the session?
There is, well, I mean, at the moment, the way he's producing lap time after lap time, I don't know if anyone else can, but he's definitely the one to watch. Let's see how it will all pan out. Ryan then, 6 drivers not setting a time. Ryan is one of them. However, one of those drivers, Tudi, is not setting a lap time because he is out of the session. But yeah, Joe Murphy, big moment for him to see if he can do another lap time because he's going out again. Tom Roberts, like you quite rightly mentioned, throwing in a good lap time. And now it's all about Ryan and what he can do as he heads down the start-finish straight for what appears to be his third, well, what appears to be his first qualifying lap time. It's actually his 3rd.
Yeah, time for Ryan to really knuckle this lap down and get it together, because of course first lap was validated, second lap in validated as well. Can Ryan just find the time here and just put a lap on the board? An 18.2, of course, a time to beat by Joe Murphy. Joe Murphy actually just behind Ryan as of now in a 26.1 first sector. Nothing nothing to complain about as of right now. Coming towards Lesmo number 1, then can he hook this up nice? He only is on about a tenth slower than Joe Murphy in that first set. They're going through Lesmo 2 now again. So committed and almost near perfect for Ryan. Here we go then. Towards Ascari. Can Ryan break the curse now of drivers with watch and actually complete the Ascari corner? Let's find out.
Into Ascari goes. Turn 8. Pushes to the curb. Across and across. It looks good so far from the broadcast camera. He possibly could push it a little bit more from the exit of turn 10, but he's managed to break that curse, which we haven't seen for a good 5 minutes, it feels. Into Parabolica he goes, and it's looking, well, he's pushing as far as he can. Now to the inside, hugs as close as he can to that white line, and across it, up into 4th place. It's a good time from Ryan there. Who else can we throw ourselves on board with? Nick is a little bit further back than the rest of the crew. Surely there is another McLaren who could probably set his first lap time of the evening as well. He hasn't invalidated. He's not going to invalidate unless he does something stupid past Parabolica. Down past the start-finish straight, hugs to the line. Only 12 for him. Someone else who can we go on board with is Justin. Around Parabolica he is clear. Cameron Dowd throws himself into 2nd place with a 1:18.3. Justin only managing 7th with a 1:18.4.
Yeah, the times are coming in now for the drivers that were struggling at first. TTM Furious, by the way, is on his first proper flying lap. And I did catch on, Gareth, Joe Murphy did invalidate an 18.1. So the pace is there for Joe Murphy to get that lap together. I'll tell you what, if he can get into that 0.0 mark, that would be a stunner of a lap to get us going. But Furious coming towards the end of sector 2, starting off sector 3. He seems to have done Ascari beautifully there. I have to say, nothing dodgy about that one this time. Go down towards this final corner at Parabolica. Can he find the time? Can he jump up alongside his rivals? You've got BRT Joe Murphy, you've got Cameron Dowds, our championship leader, up in 2nd place. Barracu Session needs to get him back as soon as possible. Tom Robertson 4th, and now Ken Furious put himself in between those cars. He comes across the line. Only 11th best for TTM Furious.
You do half wonder if this is his banker lap just to get himself into it, because you can never really tell with drivers going not off their usual pace. Is that Gatkowski? He's invalidated. I think we're going to have a gaggle of cars popping into the pit lane before final runs here tonight. As yeah, it is. I'm just seeing Gatkowski and an Alpine getting very, very close as they come into the pits. There's a few cars there. Quartz, he's going to be a first runner of the final runners, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be that case it seems, but you know, to see GT10 Quartz is out very, very early than the rest of the grid. You can see you have currently, I believe it's that, 16 cars, maybe 15 cars actually, in the pit lane, ready to go. I'm actually not too sure. I don't think Furious is going to get another lap. She's saying I don't think Furious is actually getting another lap in. He's only going to have 2 minutes at most, maybe, and obviously his teammates still going to have to come out as well. So, yeah, Furious really going to be tight on time, it seems. But GT10 Q Quartz is going to have one final go at this lap. Then a 19.0 we know is not a respectable lap for the likes of Quartz and the likes of Gatkowski. But now, Quartz, if he can find the time and really go for, I'd say if he goes for around 18.6, find yourself in that top 10, that would be a big benchmark, and see if he can score some more points today.
Let's see what Quartz can do. But Hazara, the only driver other than Tudi who is in the pits to set a lap time, which is rather frustrating, I'm sure, from his point of view. But here comes Quartz then, down into the first Verante. He's got to make sure this is perfect. Is it going to be perfect? Let's see. Brakes, hits the apexes perfectly, to be honest, but maybe a little bit too good on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, just got a little bit too eager on the power there. You can see he's backed off the battery. He's now going to recharge and go again, but that track ahead of him has got just that little bit busier, you would say. As almost every single car is out on the track is, I believe it's an Alpine leading the way. That might be Volakongen. It is indeed Volakongen leading the way for this train for everyone's just final lap of the session. Furious, by the way, still in the pit lane with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Will he make it out in time? He is on his way out very, very soon. I believe that is him on his way out of the pits, and yes, he might just get out in time. We need to see if he can make it. Well, Volokongin then getting started for one final time in this qualifying session.
We have got Quantum, who's just going through the second Verante. We've missed him out some reason. I don't know why, but he is on an outlap. He went earlier than most. So let's see what he can do as he heads through to Ascari. Lots of pressure because he's only down to 14th. He knows he can do a little bit better than this. Let's look at it. I say that. It looks like he's pulled out of his lap, which is not ideal. So maybe it is Volokongin. You were right. Let's go on board with Volokongin as he heads through Verante 2.
Yeah, Volokongin, I believe, has been a pretty good first set. He's around a 10th and a half up already. It's enough to jump him into that top 6, coming through Lesmo 2 now. He seems to have got it perfectly once again. On the battery, on the DRS, he's got all the way this little straight to go. Ascari, one of the really final corners to go. Parabolic is one of just to get the traction down at the right point. He is still just short of 2/10 up on this final flying lap. That is enough, by the way, to fight him for a top 5 position. If he can find just a little bit more time then in this final corner, he will jump maybe even into the top 3. Let's see then. Volokongin got one more corner to go, the famous Parabolica corner. Volokongin going all the way through now. Can he find the time? Can he jump higher than 9th place? He's on the battery, no DRS yet. The session officially over. Volokongin across the line. He's only up into 8th place, but an improvement of time in 18.518.
See, there's so many cars coming through. Ryan, managing 4th place. Cameron Dowds, are you coming through the final corner? He's enough to get him above Gabor, but not enough to get him above Tom Roberts, his teammate. Across the line goes Cameron Dowds. It has been enough to throw himself into 2nd place provisionally. There goes Joe Murphy, even quicker than his past lap time, but not enough. Same with Justin, not enough there, unfortunately. So just trying to get on board with Furious and to see if he has actually got himself on a lap. He has. He must have only just made it across. He is going to be the last car to make it across. Furious, currently P12. Is he going to make it into the top 10? You would hope, well, if you're a Furious fan, you'd hope so. But he is heading into Parabolica now. I think TTM Nick is the only other driver possibly to set a lap. And he's actually behind him. So Furious down the start-finish straight for the absolute last time. It's enough. It's not even enough to get himself out of his position. Nick goes 6th. Furious is going to start 14th.
Yeah, disappointing qualifying for Furious. But as we know, Furious very much is a lot more of a race pace kind of guy. The quality pace, though, really let him down there. It is a Monza, so the overtaking opportunities will come pretty fast, actually, which is a good thing for him. But it's actually unfortunate for him, because 14th place, of course, you want to start up as high as possible. Your championship rival of Cameron Dowds, he's up in 2nd place. But crucially, by the way, let's not take away the fame here. Joe Murphy, he's a 10th and a half clear of Cameron Dowds, and he's also a 2.5 tenths clear of anyone else behind him. What a lap by Joe Murphy. Hats off to Joe. What a fantastic pole position that really is. But Aston Martin will have a 2-3, and Gabor splits NLR Ryan for 5th place.
Fantastic there. And let's have a quick look at the bottom 2D. Unfortunately unable to set a lap time because of all that. Hazara did get one in the end, but only enough to get himself 8th, just above Quartz there. Expected qualifying with Joe Murphy that far out front, do you think, through all that?
Yeah, I think Joe knew he had a lot of pace here, especially to go for pole position, and he's done it pretty perfectly, to be fair to him. He's done what he would have expected to do, go out and get pole position, try and enter himself back into the championship fight. He's got 50 points already. Get another 25 today, enter yourself in 75 points and give yourself a huge opportunity at a WR Tier 1 title. But yeah, you said, very good qualifying. Cameron Dowds, very happy to be alongside Joe Murphy this race, and especially seeing the Furious is down in 14th place.
So we will be just restarting this lobby. Just trying to make sure we get ourselves sorted. Please, baby. No, I thought I was going to sneeze. I didn't want to deafen everyone. It didn't happen. So what we will do is, while we wait for the lobby to get up and ready. We are just going to go back to the starting soon screen, and we will be back in a very short moment to get ourselves sorted and ready. And welcome back, everybody. We are back in the lobby. We're just waiting on one driver to get in. Position sorted. And then we'll be back. Well, I say back racing. We will be racing at Monza for 27 laps of what I can only describe as good carnage, I think, or good chaos. It's going to be, you know, slipstream and battles. And it's not just at the front. It's going to be drivers at the back, which I know Ross has said in the pre-race show between ourselves, because we're special like that. We have you quite rightly mentioned that, you know, it's the battle for 15th. While not necessarily important, they're still going to be battling for it.
Yeah, of course, it's what we look forward to. Of course, in every single viewing of WOR Tier 1, we expect battles all across the track and everyone to be as close as possible. And now we can really see how close they are, because I believe Monza, as I said, my favourite track, one of those tracks where overtakes can happen in every single corner, especially, of course, as we know into turn 1, that inside line can be so crucial to a good overtake. But of course, Parabolica's available. The Scavenger cane, of course, if you want to get a move down that straight, feel free, but I'd recommend you try and do it mainly into turn number 1.
Yeah, there's plenty of plenty of places to make mistakes as well. And this is where, we saw Key in qualifying. So many people at Ascari making mistakes. We kind of we were expecting it, but not that much, I think.
Yeah, kind of. I think I expected a more close qualifying. I always knew that Joe Murphy, of course, had the pace to go out there and then take pole position, but I kind of thought a lot of people would be closer than that. But everyone else behind Joe Murphy, of course, as we know, was a lot closer. Just Joe was in an absolute league of his own there in this qualifying session. Cameron Dowes and Tom were pretty close together. Everyone else was only separated by about half a tenth to a tenth. So the grid is close, but Joe Murphy, I'd have to say, looking like a big race favourite.
Let us know in the chat as well who you think is going to take victory here tonight. But yeah, Joe Murphy, definitely one of those towards the top of this. If you had a poll, imaginary poll of who's going to win it, he's probably going to have about 40% of the votes, if compared to everyone else. I think is the way we're going for it. He's looking very, very solid. However, we never know what's going to happen. There's going to be incidents. There could be. The other thing we don't know is who's going to go on tyres. What tyres? It's likely to be the normal way of medium to hard, isn't it? But some drivers might go for something a little bit different to spice things up.
Yeah, I would suspect that some drivers might start on a medium compound tyre, maybe a hard, try and go a bit longer in the race. But I think majority of this track will be a hard medium. I think ending on the mediums here is definitely a good sign, a good thing to do. I'm not sure how the hards are in terms of starting. And the first 5 laps are quite crucial in building up a good race. So you need to get the tyres gripped up nice enough, get the heat into them as fast as you can, and then also ride them out for as long as possible. But as we know, if safety cars come early enough, strategies can be thrown completely out the window, and then it could be a case of everyone jumps on hards or everyone jumps on mediums just to see what stage of the race we're in. But yeah, judging by what I've seen so far, I believe it should be a hard medium.
Yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. The lobby has started. Obviously, they get to choose what their strategy is, what we're talking about now, before we get on to the track. But please let us know whether you think Joe Murphy is beatable here tonight. All things considered, there's not that much of a high chance of safety car. I don't want to say it's under 50%, isn't it? Whereas the street track is over 50%. But a safety car towards the end, we're likely to see maybe a soft compound towards the end, or even if someone's wanting to try their luck, they might go on a soft early and hope for an early safety car. Maybe one of the drivers that hasn't performed as well in qualifying as we would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't write that off at all. I think that would make a lot of sense. Obviously, we know that Tudy had a qualifying ban. He might just fancy, soft comp and a tyre right at the hards to the end, try and get some moves done early, but from what I can remember, the softs here are really not good. The wear is very, very high, especially as a race tyre. Of course, one that pace in qualifying you won't really be able to tell what the tyre wear is. But as we know, the soft compound tyre this game, they wear so quickly. So the effectiveness of the soft compound tyre really is about 5 laps at best.
Now, Avatar is saying soft, medium, soft tyres can be used for this race as a strategy. So maybe he's got some insider information that we don't have. It will be interesting to see. I will just quickly make sure that we are going to have volume. So having to just quickly duck out the way there. Apologies, but maybe I don't think so. I think it's been so clear cut that the hard compounds will be used in nearly every race that we will probably see it again. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. I want to see some tyres that are nearly exploding at the end. Awesome, special tyre whisperers out there that will get the soft tyres that little bit longer, 2 or 3 laps longer than anyone else. It'd be great to see nonetheless. But we'll wait and see. This is a beauty of it all. We don't 100% know just yet. But Monza, so fast, so quick. Down that first straight into turn 1, you want to make the overtakes. I've seen in the past at the Lesmos, if you make a mistake out of the second Veranti, you can get a move up the inside quickly, can't you?
Yeah, you definitely can. You can usually get them done quite quickly if you can get alongside. Obviously, if you're not able to get alongside, you're going to be in a tough situation where you're you're going to be alongside someone in a corner where it's hard to overtake, and you're going to be in a rough position of, can you get by into Variante? Can you get through enough that you're not going to hit the gravel on the outside, you're not going to be too close to the grass on the inside? So as I said, you need to judge it perfectly. You need to make sure the driver ahead as well can get through nicely.
Now, just waiting, guys, on the drivers to get themselves ready, ready and sorted for this one. It's 27 laps on Monza, 11 corners, but so much high speed. You never know what's going to happen. We've had already qualifying where drivers in Ascari, which we've mentioned, that could cost them big time. I'm just making sure, I'm just conscious that I don't want to miss the start of this Grand Prix, so I'm just constantly looking down there, eager for these guys to get themselves sorted and the race to get underway. Where do you think the race is going to get? I don't want to put it all on Joe Murphy because there's no guarantee he's going to win, but where do you think the race can be won and lost for him tonight?
Yeah, as I said, turn 1, as we know, is going to be a crucial part of it. Coming to the final few laps, you want to have DRS in the final lap, but I've discovered that overtaking at turn 1 isn't actually always the best thing to do, because if you've got battery at the end of the race and your wings are low enough, you can get a good run out of the Ascari chicane and actually catch them up by the time Parabolica comes. So if Joe will learn from that, because he actually made that same mistake last Sunday, if it comes to that again, he knows where he can get overtaken. So honestly, it will be, Joe knows what's going to happen. He's been in a situation before. If it comes to it, yeah, he knows how to attack it.
Tex, I believe, please don't quote me on it, it was definitely a 1:18.1, the pole time. I believe it was 1:18.145. But those final two numbers were non-existent for him because no one else was in his league. A tenth and a half was the closest other driver, and that was the Aston Martin of not Kai Pearson. Wow, Kai Pearson hasn't been here for a little while. It's Cameron Dowds and Tom Roberts surrounding Joe Murphy. And I mean, I know it's not a team event, but do you think those two, Tom and Cameron, will try do a little bit of teamwork to put Joe in a little box, maybe?
I mean, possibly. It depends on the situation. So if Tom's in a position where he can win the race, I think he's going to take it. I think it would be right to take it, because obviously he knows that the wins don't come as easily as we know. We know that Joe can turn up. We know that Tom can turn up, and Cameron is in the situation that he is in, as we know by how good he's been racing. But yeah, Cameron, he's had his run-ins with people in terms of incidents and stuff like that. So yeah, he needs to be careful, especially if he's going to go for these moves on the last lap, because drivers, as we know, they want to defend these positions. They want to win the race as best they can. But as you said, I think personally that if it comes to it, Tom wouldn't just let him by. I think he would, Tom would think about it smartly and say, if I actually want to win this race for myself, he's going to take the win.
Interesting, definitely. I know Tom is a racer at heart, so it's competition is definitely something he loves. So we'll have to wait and see how it'll all pan out. Time will tell. The race should be underway very, very shortly. I hadn't even noticed, I'm sorry, Ross, that you'd managed to leave the session, but thankfully you got back into it. All fine and dandy, but not long now. I'm just trying to think. Furious, I think, ended up down in 14th place, didn't he? That's not a great place for him to start.
No, yeah, as you said, a very tough place for him to gain positions from. Of course, he's got to try and work his way through the field and try and get into that top 5, I'd say, as quick as possible. He needs to try and get in that train and work his way through. As we know, he is very good in the race, though. He can work his magic in the race. Maybe he's got a setup very much race based, so it's going to be a lot better for him during the corner and stuff like that. But we'll wait and see how they get on. But I wouldn't write him off yet. But here we go then. Finally got final order. Please take us away.
Here we are then. We are away at Monza, and it looks like a very, very good start from all the top drivers. But there's definitely some movers down in the background, and it's all going a little bit haywire with a McLaren in the back there. And Joe Murphy leads the way with Cameron Downs and Tom Roberts battling tooth and nail for position, and they don't want to be battling too much as Tom does just fit behind. Brando up into 5th place. Let's have a look. Mapo's on. Positional changes, because that is going to be crucial. Brando up 2 places, Flotman up, but and Furious up 2 places as well. It is all kicking off a little bit, but Gabor, crucially, all over the back of Tom Roberts.
Yeah, everyone at the front got through nice and cleanly. There's a bit of a tussle at the back between Quantum and Ghost King, but it looks as though everything's went down pretty nicely into turn 1. I'm not sure if anyone got any damage or whatnot, but for now it looks as though everyone's okay. Barracuda unfortunately lost connection to the session, but yeah, at the front all okay. Joe Murphy is through, Cameron Dowd, Tom Roberts, Gabor, Brando and Ryan all holding positions for right now. I tell you what, these two McLarens could really get to work soon. They're both in a position here where they can win the race, and they can both see what they can do early doors. But it looks as though so far everyone is doing okay. The top 9 on medium component tyres, and PGR Andrea and Barracuda 7 on the hards. Furious, Giovanno and Gikowski are on mediums, Quantum and Ghosty on the hards, and Tudi also on the hards. The rest are all on the mediums. So it looks as though the yellow medium component tyre is the race tyre to be on so far.
It's 3 wide for the battle for 15th place, as Joe Murphy definitely used a little bit of his battery to keep ahead of Cameron Dowds for that time, and Gabor unable to get past Tom Roberts. He's lost a bit of time now as Brian is attacking maybe his teammate. Let's see what he does into the second Varante here. He does stay behind, but look how that's actually a really good camera angle for this. It's quite interesting. The Ferrari of Gabor has broken the 2x2x2 rule there. Aston Martin together, McLaren together, and the Williams together.
Yeah, it's getting close every single corner. It seems as though Nick's going to be trying to eye up a move potentially in the back of Ryan here, put the pressure on towards the Ascari chicane, but as they know, Ascari not the place you want to be overtaken and going side by side at. They just need to try and plan their overtake, really, is the way to go about Monza. You need to try and pick your moments, should I say, is the best thing you do. Pick your moment where you've got that overspeed on the car ahead. You want to make them use battery. You've used enough to catch them. You get alongside and you get a move done cleanly. You don't want to be banging wheels and someone goes off into the gravel and you end up getting shears reports and stuff. You want to get through cleanly and just keep the train moving.
Let's have a look this time. I think Cameron Dowds might have a look as Justin is the fastest lap of the race. It's Cameron Dowds that takes the lead of this race away from Joe Murphy. Up the inside of Ryan goes Nick. I wonder if that is more of a feint move than anything. He hasn't made the move stick through it. Tom Roberts is looking very racy in comparison to Joe Murphy as well. Is there going to be something else that happens as they head into turn 4? Does Tom think about it? He stays behind for the time being as they all go, well, single file, obviously, through the second Varante, but they get very close to the back end of each other.
Yeah, just gearboxing everyone through these corners is what they need to do. They need to be as close as possible during these parts of the track, you know, the parts where the downforce is really coming into play, and I think you can see who's running those slightly higher wings than everyone else, because they're gaining time in these high downforce part of the high traction zone parts of the track, and then it comes to the straights and losing 1 or 2 tenths going down the straight. So they need to try and find that advantage, get the moves done on the small straight towards Ascari, and then they can try and keep ahead with the DRS and the slipstream ahead going down towards turn 1.
All single file at the moment. Ryan gets close to the back end of Brando again as they head into Parabolica, but nothing happening on this occasion. Cameron Dowds, fastest man on the track, which is not that much of a surprise considering he did overtake for the lead, but Giovanni goes a little bit quicker as there are starting to be some breaks in this train a little bit as Ryan is being overtaken there. He's by a TTM Nick, and Justin's trying to get involved in it as well. Justin's overtaken Flopman, trying to get 2 in 1 there. Tom Roberts close to the back end of Joe Murphy again, but can Ryan get back at Nick? He looks like he's going to try to as they head into the second Varante. Defensive from the Williams driver, but he's able to hold on to the position for the time being.
Yeah, good defending there by Nick. Ryan's going to try and get through on the outside line, and Ryan will hold on to that 6th place for a little longer. Nick was trying to hold it on the inside, but Ryan having absolutely none of it really, so he went and held onto that position. But very crucially, I'm pointing out here, Ryan is slowly dropping out the DRS. He's using a lot of battery early on in this race, and he's slowly but surely going to lose that DRS to his teammate. What has happened here to NLR Ryan's pace? Just too heavy battling early on. He's going to keep in the DRS potentially for turn 1, which is, by the way, very, very crucial. He needs that DRS going down this straight, going towards Parabolica. Now the rest of the train up ahead still going well. Ryan's got to make sure he does not lose DRS, otherwise it'll be a very, very early break in the train.
Justin, well, Nick made a mistake out of the Ascari chicane there, and now he's attacked Nick. He's got the move done, and he's now behind Ryan. Justin is on a little bit of a flyer at the moment, using as much of the tyres as possible. Andrea, I think, has managed to get into 10th place. He's overtaken Giovanni down the start-finish straight, and on the hards, that could be crucial come the end of the race as well. Not very many drivers opting for the hard, some medium strategy by the looks of things. It's mainly most medium to hard. Cameron Dowd still leads this Grand Prix on lap 5, and the Williams are still together, and the McLarens are still together after Ryan having to fight back against Nick, who did get him just a few laps ago. Down from turn 7 to turn 8 into the Ascari chicane comes TTM Nick. It's just levelled itself out a little bit.
Yeah, it seems to as everyone's quieted down, settled into this race pretty nicely. Quantum and Volacong have a little battle there at Ascari. They're still going on Quantum and Volacong. So Quantum has got through. Yes, Quantum has indeed got through on Volacong in 15th place. As I said before, there are battles happening everywhere. At the front of the train, though, very, very close between all 4 of these drivers in terms of Cameron Dowd, Joe Murphy, Tom Roberts, and NVR Gabor. You've seen them all come down the straight now. DRS enabled at the rear wing of every single car except Cameron Dowd at the front. Cameron's going to do nothing about it because Joe Murphy's coming down the inside. Tom Roberts is going to sit behind and watch his teammate be overtaken by Joe Murphy. And it looks as though Gabor also will just sit behind Aston Martin.
Yeah, and just in the background, the TTM team of Williams swapped positions as well. Nick not putting up too much of a fight to Flotman. Cameron Dowd through Curva Grande leads the way again on lap 6 at Monza. Hopping over the curve nicely, and it's all nice and tight again. The Ferraris have joined the fray. The only other RB, well, it's a massive RB sandwich, isn't it? The Racing Bulls sandwich with Hazara unfortunately down in last place, and BRT Joe Murphy in the lead as they head through the second the second Lesmo. Sorry, it looks a lot more like Tom Roberts could be the driver to make a move than anyone else.
It's coming through Ascari now. Tom Roberts might be a chance for a double overtake opportunity to get ahead of Joe Murphy and get ahead of Cameron Dowd, because Cameron at this stage of the race is saving ERS. He wants to keep more than Joe Murphy, He's currently in second place. He wants to try and keep more than Joe and constantly switch positions with Joe, not really caring about what Tom Roberts is going to do at the moment. But they all come through the exit of Parabolica now, starting off lap number 7, 28 more laps to go here in this race. You can see the DRS enable for Cameron Dowd. He's going to switch to the inside and get through. And look at Tom Roberts, as I said, going to go for that move on Joe Murphy. He's going to outbrake him. Joe Murphy's going to try hold it on the outside. They are going to go wheel to wheel into turn 1 here. On the exit of turn 2 they come. You can see Joe Murphy leaving the space for Tom Roberts, but Tom Roberts did nothing about it. Drop back into P3, and Gabor might just fancy his chances now.
Look at this as well. This is going to be really tight. Ryan got beaten by Justin as they go. Oh, Tom Roberts is going again at Joe Murphy as they head into it, and Tom Roberts has got the position done out of literally nowhere. Joe is trying to attack back, but Joe Murphy is down to 3rd place for the first time in this Grand Prix. Tom Roberts opportunistic to make sure he got that 2nd place.
Yes, Aston Martin making it a 1-2 early on. Very nice to see Tom Roberts getting that move done. I was very, very ballsy, I have to say, on the inside line at the Della Roggia chicane is something that you not usually see. It's a lap 7 with 20 more laps to go, but Tom wasting no time and got that move done very, very cleanly indeed. Brando not able to really keep up with Gabor at the minute, not able to get close enough for any sort of manoeuvres. Is this going to maybe invite Gabor this chance to get up ahead of Joe Murphy and ahead of maybe Tom Roberts as well for 2nd place, because Gabor entering this fight just ruins Aston Martin that little bit more. Look at Gabor on the back of Joe Murphy. Look at Tom on the back of Cameron Dowd. Look at Joe Murphy pulling to the inside as early as right now in the middle of the track. You can see him, we go too wide between 2 cars. It is the teammates and Joe Murphy and Gabor moving to turn 1 here. It looks like Tom Roberts is through. Cameron Dowd is going to hold on. Inside line for Cameron Dowd. He's battling his teammate away. Joe Murphy holds on to 3rd place on the outside line. Gabor's going to keep himself in there though. On the outside line now, switch to the outside, and it is indeed still Cameron Dowd in 2nd, Tom Roberts in 1st. Look at Joe Murphy going right back at him. Oh, boxed in potentially by Tom Roberts. Gabor's been shut off as well. It looks as though he's not going to get that 2nd place. He's not. Tom Roberts assisting Cameron Dowd.
Oh, wow, look at this. This is really tight at Monza. No word of braking from anyone. They are just going absolute 100%, but this is perfect for them all. Tom Roberts leads the way from Cameron Dowd as they head down through into the Ascari chicane for the 8th time. I can't believe it's lap 8 because these guys are battling hammer and tong. Justin is all over the back of Brando in the background. I don't know where to look.
Honestly, you don't know where to catch all the action. As I said, there's always action everywhere in the Temple of Speed, and it constantly proves me right. This train is just holding on together. With being held back by 17th place GT10 and Coast King. You see a couple of early pit stops here. Ryan and Flotman into the pits really early on. I'm not sure what's went on there. Maybe a potential wing damage for Ryan and Flotman. I just want to double check and see if it is or if it's just a pit stop. It is just a pit stop for NLR Ryan Flotman. Also just stopping for a pit stop. So they are going reasonably early, by the way. This is still a partially early part of the race. So you're going to be taking hards now. What's that? 18? Is it 18 laps? Yeah, something like that. 16, 17 laps as of now, which is, it's not an easy thing to do. But they are going to see if they can pull an undercut on the rest of the grid. Because if they can hit the front and just defend their position for as long as possible, they can still pick up major points. And for Ryan at this point in the championship, he needs that. And also along with Flotman, and Flotman is also in third.
Wow, that is, I mean, we've just seen Joe Murphy get back in front of Cameron Dowd, and I just didn't know where to go with this. But I think you're right. I think a few early pit stops maybe to try and catch some positions out, and then be a tyre whisperer towards the end of the Grand Prix. But we know how long those hards can go naturally anyway. But Joe Murphy, what can he do in an attack on Tom Roberts this lap? He's gone very close to the. Well, he's good. No, that's why he's gone into the pits. He took a much different line through Parabolica than I was expecting. He's gone early. Quartz has picked up a penalty. That's not ideal for him in the Kick Sauber car. But the two Aston Martins have yet to pit. PGR Andrea up into third place on the hards. He's overtaken Justin. These mediums haven't worked as long as I think these guys expected.
Yeah, by the way, Today, Quantum and Ghost King all on hard component tyres as well. Yes, of course they're going to have to pit, but they're going to be on the better tyre at the end of the race. So, yeah, potentially a fantastic strategy call for these four drivers are already on the hards. Andrea, of course, being the furthest ahead. He's already ahead of BRT. Justin, who is sat in fourth on the medium component tyre. You do wonder what's going to happen with Tom Roberts and Cameron Dowds. Is it going to be a case of whoever the first car is going to make that pit stop call? Because they definitely cannot double stack, because that will definitely ruin Cameron Dowds if they double stack. Now, I can maybe see Tom Roberts going this lap and Cameron Dowds potentially going the next lap. But Cameron might want the priority of the pit stops. But I think for this moment now, Tom Roberts is going to come into the pits. Cameron Dowds will follow him in after next lap.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see through all this, and PJ Andrea just dropping a little bit, but apologies there, Ross. Cameron Dowd's dropping a little, Andrea dropping a little bit from Cameron Dowd's, but it is you're right. Tom Roberts did take that pit stop first, and you feel like one of them possibly should have done it the lap before. Let's go on board with Joe Murphy as he came out of the pits ahead of Flotman, but he's now behind. Tom Roberts and Justin are in the pits. How far into this train are they going to come out?
Yeah, you need to see what's going to happen. Cameron Dowds is being forced to stay out another lap, and by the way, he lost time to PGR Andrea on this lap. Cameron, yeah, he's been really let down here by his teammates. There's a yellow flag in the first sector. That's Justin. Justin's round. On the exit of the pits, I'm not sure what's happened, but Justin has been spun by someone. I'm not too sure who it was or what's happened, but all we know is Justin has been spun around by someone. There's still battling going on. Tom Roberts and Flotman wheel to wheel there, and that's Tom Roberts up into 7th place now. So unfortunate for Justin.
And Joe Murphy has thrown a 9/10 of a second lead to Tom Roberts, but it's not happening at the moment. I don't think he's going to break that second gap, which is what he was going for, I think. But yeah, poor Justin around. I'm not sure why, but not ideal for this. And into the pits is Cameron Dowds. This is crucial. This is go time. I think he's going to come out behind Ryan.
Yeah, he might. He might be coming out behind the rest of them. Joe Murphy now just coming down the straight. You can see Cameron Dowd's on the exit of that pit lane. He is on the exit of the pit lane. Joe Murphy, though, he's going to steamroll past him and take the lead of the race. Tom Roberts there, Flopman's there, Ryan is there, Gabor's there as well. Cameron Dowd has lost out hugely. He's lost to 4 cars. Big battle there between Ryan and Gabor. Gabor's ghosted now on the exit of turn 2. They all go down through the Curva Grande. Now Gabor's still inside of Ryan's car. Ghosted all the way through. He jumps out there, luckily. And it's going to be a collision at the back, and that's Giovanni at the back. It is indeed a collision between someone, I'm not too sure, but Giovanni is now down in 15th place. Brando Furious swapping. Furious still stuck in 14th, 13th now, sorry.
So, yeah, front end weight, I thought it was Brando. And it is Brando that's got front end plate damage. He was the one in the wall with Giovanni. I think Giovanni might have front wing damage as well. He does. 2D's passed by Quantum on that lap. PJ Andrea doing a very, very good job leading this Grand Prix at the moment. I don't think they'll be going into the pits this lap. Let's just have a look. Far too early for that to be happening. But 13, 16, 19, pretty much 20 seconds between Joe Murphy and Andrea. But Andrea's going to be so fast at the end of the race.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult one. 19.9 seconds is the exact time between Andrea and Joe Murphy, and that just dropped another 10th, maybe even 2 coming after this corner. So yeah, the hard component tyre will be hitting a bad point very, very soon. But as we've seen, those drivers are only taking the medium component tyre 10 laps. And Giovanni, unfortunately, his day is over. Retired in the pit lane. We will not see any more of TF10 Giovanni. But yeah, as I'm saying, we've seen the other drivers only take the mediums. What was that? They took them, what, 10 laps at most? It's really giving you a massive telltale point of how the medium tyres are in the race. So if they're going to take the hards another 4 laps, they're going to lose a lot of time to Joe Murphy behind.
Cameron Dowd was desperate to try and get past Ryan, but it just wasn't to be. As they went into turn 4, Ryan had the better line, and actually I think it's put Cameron Dowd off a little bit because Nick is making a little bit of a move as they head on down the hill. He's tried to go to the outside to go into turn 8, but it's just not going to happen into the Ascari chicane for Nick. But the undercut definitely has worked for Flopman, but he's going to be a little bit problematic towards the end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it definitely will be. You can see Cameron Dowd is feeling the effects. Oh, of course, he's put it in the wall. Safety car! Safety car deployed. Andrea to the Quantum and Ghost King have been handed an opportunity. I've got to say, the hard component tyre strategy has it's been given a huge chance. And Flopman has decided to pit. Flopman is into the pit box once more. Is that going to be a set of medium component tyres once again for TTM Flopman and Furious also into the pit lane? Is it going to be? It is indeed another set of fresh medium component tyres for TTM Flopman. Furious as well pitting. He's also getting a new set of medium component tyres and a new front wing as well. For Furious has had wing damage this whole time, so he's been let down this race completely. But the guys at the front haven't pit yet. They're going to get their best chance at a race win all season, you've got to say.
Just have a look. I'm surprised Brando didn't pit for a change of front wing there, because you can lose so much time here, can't you? With damaged front wing, but he's decided to go for it and push on. Let's go on board with, I think, Andrea and 2D, because 2D has to. It's nearly, he has to try and hold up a little bit because he's going to double stack.
Yeah, no, today you can already see it. He's backing up slightly with Quantum. He's got to be careful because you don't want to back up too much and cause a bit of an accident. You can see he's so slow into the pit line there. Was today. He's done his best, but unfortunately he's definitely going to be getting held up really, really early here, and you can see it already. Andrea's not even pulled away from the pit box, finally gets in. Quantum will definitely jump ahead of 2D here. I believe GT10 Ghost King should as well. Here comes Joe Murphy though, and he is going to take the lead of this race. It more matters of where do these guys come out. It's going to be Andrea, and Andrea, crucially, is he ahead of Cameron Dowd? I believe he might be. He's not. He is not ahead of Cameron Dowd. He just tucks in behind them though. Andrea is P6 on a fresh set of medium compound of tyres. Who would have predicted this before a lap was done?
This is great work from Andrea. You know what? When the race gets starting, we're looking at lap 26 probably. not 26, sorry, that's a long safety car, isn't it? Lap 16, with the lighter cars, are they're able to go maybe a lap or two longer. They might be bad at the end of the Grand Prix, but they're definitely going to be the tyres to be on. I think the likes of Flotman, Volokonga and Furious and Brando, who've gone on to a new set, they've made the right decision here.
Yeah, no, I believe they have, as of right now. They were at the back of the grid, they weren't really fighting for anything in that position. They've just done the smart thing of pitting for a fresh set and just go for it, see what you can pick up. But I've got to ask you, Warder, and I'll ask the chat as well, looking at where we are now, who wins this race? Because personally, I am going to pick him. I'm going to pick Andrea. I think his tyre advantage is going to be so high. And the safety car, of course, is right now really helping him because he's going to be keeping tyre wear. As long as he can keep the temperature in them, I don't see how he doesn't win this.
It's difficult to go against Joe Murphy because of the pace and just how well he's done. But you know what? I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to go Andrea as well. I'm going to be that sheep. It's a fantastic opportunity for him, and I think he's obviously you know, I could always put all the caveats under the sun. You know, he could get caught in an instant. He could get caught behind Cameron Dowd for a lap extra than he needs to. But you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's back Andrea for this Grand Prix win.
You might as well. We'll see how he gets on. Who would have thought that Andrea would be put in this position? Come the way that qualifying and everything went for him. I would never have thought to see him in here, but guess what? It seems to happen every so often in Crossplay Tier 1. Honestly, looking at this grid, you've still got Cameron Dowd on a fresh set of hard. You've got Ryan on the oldest here. You've got Tom Roberts on 5 laps. Gabor and Joe Murphy on 6 lap hard compound of tyres. This front battle is going to be incredible because behind them, they've still got Quantum, Ghost King and Today making their way through the field. Potentially, you could be seeing a podium looking something like Joe Murphy with Andrea and Quantum and Ghost King, or Nick could get in there. Honestly, this could be anything to come the end of the race.
You know what? And this is no disrespect to Andrea. I don't think it was on anyone's bingo card for tonight that for him to be taking the victory, but he's got himself in a great opportunity here. We will get surely lap racing again on lap 20, on lap 17, and the safety car is in this lap. Ooh, he got very close to the back end of Cameron Dowd. Said, let's go on board maybe with the leaders instead of giving Andrea probably rightful screen time. But when does Joe Murphy go then? This is crucial. He's got Tom Roberts, who's very, very racy. He's had a very good race so far. You've got to do it at the right point, haven't you?
Yeah, you've just got to try and just catch out Tom Roberts behind, but also make sure you get those heat in the tyres and make sure that they are ready to go. You can see him coming Parabolica now. He's going to go for it very, very soon. You've got to say, surely this is the moment for Joe Murphy. He's getting the tyres warm, and here he goes, and he finally goes. Tom Roberts hasn't been caught napping. He will get on the battery as early as before the start-finish line, and we are racing again here at the Temple of Speed at Monza in Italy. You can see him already charging down the straight. Tom Roberts going to send it on the inside line. He's got 1 lap fresher tyres, but no move happening. Look at Andrea on the outside, on the inside line. You can see the Mercedes of Kay Gatkowski on the outside, and looks like Quantum, his teammate's going to try and get around the outside line. Is Gatkowski going to fight him? He's not. He's going to play it smart, and that is very smart from Gatkowski. Let Quantum go through, because Quantum, by the way, he's in a massive chance now of a podium.
He has indeed, and just behind Toodie's getting past, I think maybe Justin's dropping down the order like no one's business. Cameron Dowd's managed to get Ryan off the line as well, and Ryan's consecutive point scoring run might be in threat here. He is in a midst of a massive battle. Andrea still yet to make a move, and at the lead of this Grand Prix, Joe Murphy does it. Look in the background, that is a Haas trying to attack the Williams of Flotman, but it just wasn't to be. So many battles happening here tonight. Let's go on board back with Tom Roberts as he looks at Joe Murphy, and Gabor just behind with, well, Andrea yet to strike.
Yeah, big battle going on here. It's almost Spanish. Quantum's been hit somewhere. He's down in 16th place now.
Quantum loses out massively. You see Gatkowski on the back of Tootie here for 8th place. Gatkowski on the older hard compound tyres. Down the inside goes Gatkowski. He's up into 8th place. No moves happening anywhere else. Look at the front, guys. It's Cameron Dowds on the outside line. Now on the inside on Gabor. Gabor's been put out wide, but Cameron Dowds couldn't get that move done. Furious is well balanced with Shizou Volakongan. Volakongan will lose out P13 to Furious.
You just don't know where to look with this one at the moment. Tudi and Gatkowski battling away, and it's not really a great camera angle to show through all this, and it is a little bit of a gap now between Tudi and Nick, and I wonder if this is going to be crucial come a few laps time. Tudi will be able to surely get that gap back because of the tyre difference, but will Gatkowski and Ghost King be able to do anything about it? We will wait and see. As on lap 18 of 27, it's still Joe Murphy that leads the way, but Tom Roberts is all over the back of him.
Yeah, Tom Roberts already seeing what he can do with Joe Murphy, work with him slightly, but they don't want these medium guys to catch up to them. And now in the hands of Tudi and Andrea, Quantum unfortunately losing out after getting caught in a collision at Parabolica. So he's going to be well out of this one for now. We can see Tudi did get back in that 1 second gap to TTM Nick ahead now. Nick is now with his chance of getting past Andrea. Andrea, by the way, really struggling so far. He's not really making the moves that we expect them to make. Joe Murphy and Tom Roberts swapping at the front. Gabber on the inside line of the outside of Joe Murphy. Now it can put onto the gravel slightly. They're wheel to wheel locking wheels on the inside corner. Look at Cameron Downs, going to be 3 wide through the Curva Grande they go. Cameron Downs on the outside, Gabber's on the inside. Joe Murphy's still in there. Gabber's going to be moving up at the 2nd place. Joe Murphy's close in there. Gabber on the outside line, he's through. And into 2nd place. What a battle between those 3 there. Joe Murphy down to 3rd, Cameron Downs on 4th.
Yeah, this is really hitting off. Cameron Dowds, an opportunistic move to try. It failed, but he's just reminding the 2 drivers ahead of him who are on 9-lap-old tyres. He's on 7-lap-old tyres. Don't forget about him, because he's definitely got a great chance of doing something in this Grand Prix. Cameron is all over the back of Joe Murphy at the moment, and just behind them is obviously Ryan and Andrea, still yet to make a move. You would think he would have made a move by now already, but Andrea yet to do so, and he's stuck in 6th place.
Yeah, Andrea, I've got to say, must be disappointed right now. He's not really getting anything done. Nick, that slide there on the exit of Parabolica might give Tudi a chance of getting by TTM Nick. Tudi is eyeing up that overtake on TTM Nick on the outside line, and Tudi is through and up into P7. We now have both Red Bull cars in the 6th and 7th place at the front. Is there anything happening? Gabor again and Joe Murphy under pressure. Joe Murphy's going to be hit almost at a halt there with Gabor in front of him and nothing going on there. I'll tell you what, Tom Roberts will be loving how much these 2 are battling behind the Gabor and Joe Murphy. They've had instances in the past between each other, but nothing that is going to be hopefully holding them up from a potential race win here. And Andrea! Right around they go, and it's another safety car. What is going on, Gareth?
I just saw in the background a Red Bull career into the wall at the exit of Curva Grande. Oh my goodness me. Are we going to see a flurry of cars throwing themselves into the pits? I don't want to say it, but maybe we jinxed Andrea there.
We can't play, lads. Come on now. We are not driving the car. Let's not be too harsh on ourselves. Yeah, it's so unfortunate for PGR and Andrea now, and of course FRT. So unfortunate for Andrea. We all thought it was going to be his time to shine. But as you said, Gareth, this should be it. This has to be the chance for Tom Roberts, Gabor, they've got to pit, because these hard tyres won't be able to beat these medium tyres come the end of the race, and I think so. It should be a pit stop for Tom Roberts, Gabor and Joe Murphy. By the way though, Cameron Dowds, he's going to have to double stack with Tom Roberts, which is crucial at this stage in the race. Flopman, Ghost King, I believe some of the other medium ones go. Yeah, Brando stays out, Volakongan and Furious all staying out on the older medium compound tyres. Where's Cameron Dowds going to come out is the question for me. Is he going to be caught up properly here? This is going to be a very, very poor one. He is indeed right down in 14th place. Oh my goodness me, Cameron Dowds has got an absolute shift in for him these next 5 laps of racing that are going to be coming up soon. He's down in 14th, Tom Roberts is 8th, you've got 20 lap old Barracu, they're both close, so don't worry about Hazara and Barracu. But Gabor, Joe Murphy, Tudi, Gatkowski, Justin and Quantum settling for a soft compound tyre.
I don't want to say is that a mistake. They're going to be so quick come the end of the Grand Prix, but at the beginning of this restart, sorry. But at the end of the Grand Prix, are those tyres going to be a little bit too worn? We just don't know. We don't know when the safety car is going to go in. I mean, Barrichel's ghost is still going through this. It's really quite strange. But Gabor, Joe Murphy, Tom Roberts, crucially going on a mediums. I mean, there's too many questions, isn't there, Ross?
So many questions to ask. Why have they done this, done that? What's happened this race? But honestly, looking at this now, I'm just seeing it as a lot of work to do for everyone. Tom Roberts, yeah, he's going to try and get through these guys ahead of him, but he's got Gabor and Joe Murphy behind him on a set of soft composite tyres. So even if Tom Roberts gets through, he's still got these two behind him breathing down his neck. So honestly, this race is going to be an absolute mayhem come these final few laps. I don't know who to even pick for a race winner now.
Chat, over to you. I think you might be you're more qualified than I am to choose who you think is going to take victory here tonight. Ghost King leads the way, possibly for the first time in console tier 1 this season. Flopman in second place. It could be absolute, inspired decision making by those guys to stay out on mediums. It was a chance. Well, it's obviously a chance to lead the Grand Prix in console tier 1, but those tyres aren't dead and buried.
No, of course not. They're not particularly fully dead yet. We know they're going to be older. They're going to be worn in. Then, of course, the likes of Tom Roberts and Gabor's medium and soft. I do need to wonder though, the soft component tyre, what's the wear like under the safety car? Because it's not going to be perfect, of course. We all know that the wear is going to be still pretty bad. So I do wonder, are they going to be competitive enough come these final, we've got a 5-lap race ahead of us come the once the safety car does come in at the end of this lap. But GT10 Ghost King has been handed a huge opportunity, but I do want to point out massively here, Warder, TTM Flopman, he's second place, he's third in the standings, both of his championship rivals are behind him. This is a huge opportunity for Flopman to take some big points in the title fight.
Safety car in this lap. Do we wait really late, or does Ghost King wait really late like Joe Murphy? That's much more of a tongue twister than I was expecting. But Joe Murphy, does he wait as long as Joe Murphy, or does he decide to go a little bit earlier? He's holding the cars back a lot further back down this straight than Joe Murphy did. So maybe he's going to try something different. You just don't know. He's making sure his tyres are definitely warmed back up. Barrichel's AI there, I think, still. Well, I'm sure he's had internet issues tonight, unfortunately. But here we go. What does he do? He's decided to go early before the Parabolica, and I think it's caught Flopman out more than Joe Murphy caught Tom Roberts out earlier on. He's got a little bit of a lead as they head on down the start-finish straight for the 23rd time. Let's see what you guys think. And there's a massive gap there between 5th and 6th place. It's 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, the ghosted cars, of course, has really been letting down Gabor and Tom Roberts. But Gabor, crucially, by the way, is through on Tom Roberts as early as down that early straight. So, coming to the cover Grande now, Gabor's going to be burning that ERS, gaining time on the cars ahead. He knows he's got the grip advantage as of right now. Today is getting through all the ghosted cars. Unfortunately, they are going to be in the way for a few, but nothing will affect everyone too much. They all come through. The Retifilio, I can't remember the name of it now. The De La Roggia chicane, sorry, we should say. They all come through. There's a yellow flag at the back. Is that going to be TTM Nick? It's indeed TTM Nick caught up in an instant. But at the front, though, nothing changed. Everyone held position.
Gabor's finally caught back up into it as well. Just behind Joe Murphy trying to attack Tom Roberts. Don't think it's going to happen on this occasion. Poor Andrea, though, as his name, as their name pops up on the screen saying they've left the session. It's not ideal. there's a few overtakes in the background happening. Cameron Dowds just behind Justin. I tell you what, Justin back into the swing of things now. Looked dead and buried after being caught at turn 1 after his first pit stop. He's back in it. Possible points there. We'll have to wait and see. DRS is enabled. Lap 24 of 27. 4 laps remaining. And TTM Flopman is looking like he's just going to wait behind Ghost King a little bit longer. Tom Roberts making a move on Gabor. Surely not. The medium runners are not having the better runs now. Surely the soft run, the soft tyres haven't died off already.
Yeah, I tell you what, by the way, Cameron Dowds he's not been able to make any moves as of now. All the soft runners have overtaken him. Cameron Dowds could potentially score 0 points today. That is a huge moment in the title, how things can suddenly swing a certain way as we enter Bahrain next week. It could maybe not be Cameron Dowds at the top of the peak of the standings. Joe Murphy still on the back of Tom Roberts. I believe now, as you said, Gareth, Tom Roberts is playing a sort of team game for Cameron Dowds. He's been defending really heavily from BRT Joe Murphy for a long, long time. But as we know, the soft component tyre won't have much life left in them for another 2 or 3 laps. So come at the end, I would say next lap, those soft tyres really won't be in a good window.
Gabor's already dropped off. Maybe it was purposeful from Gabor to try and get a run at the drivers ahead, but he dropped off away from Volokongan quite a lot. Laps in 6th place, as it's not ideal as we have a look at TTM Furious. He needs a good point score tonight as well, and Flotman does as well. But surely Volokongan's not going to have a look at Furious as they head on down. We're going to have a change of the lead. Flotman's going to go for it as they head down the start and finish, straight finish on lap 25. Surely not Brando as well. Brando's having a look at Ghost King. I don't think it's going to be, and I think TTM Furious has just been nicked there as a yellow flag, and I wonder what that's for. Quantum picks up a 3-second time penalty. There's definitely a lot going on all at once, but at the moment I don't think anything's happening. I think actually, is that Joe Murphy into 6th place? There's front wing damage from someone, and where is Gabor?
It was Gabor that got rear-ended at the turn number 1, the entry of turn 1. He's been rear-ended and sent somewhere. I believe it was from Tom Roberts. He's been so heavy on the brakes, he's completely ran into Gabor on the exit of the corner, and it is unfortunately Gabor down in 14th place from from the rest of them. NLR Ryan up in 8th place as well. Tom Roberts is really helping Cameron Dowds, because Cameron Dowds now up at 10th place from 14th to 10th in the space of 1 lap. Goodness me, from no points to 1. Cameron is not out just yet, but crucially at the front though. TTM Flotman leads the way with 2 more laps to go. NLR Ryan and TRT Judy in a big battle there. Tom Roberts almost losing out. Tom's damage seriously holding him up now. This could get really, really good come these final 2 laps now.
That was a wow. 2D and Ryan, brilliant. Brando getting past. Oh my goodness, there's just so much going on. I'm not sure where to look. Brando now down to 3rd place. Ghost King trying to take the lead of this Grand Prix, battling with with Flotman. Sorry, 3 seconds to Gatkowski. Furious is not really doing much with Volokongan there, and Joe Murphy, well, hoping to hold on to this on the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Brando, has he got 2nd place? He has done indeed. Could we see Brando taking victory tonight?
This is a huge moment in the race and in the championship. But look at Brando. He's dropping off from Flotman. Flotman's got a move on. If Flotman can drop him out of DRS, this is going to be the easiest last lap. Look at the gap. Look at the gap. It's just over 1 second. He's barely in DRS. He's still got DRS, so he'll be able to gain a little bit from the straight. This is going to get major into these final few laps. Crucially, by the way, Furious is still in this podium position. He potentially could overtake Cameron Dowds for the championship lead. How crucial could that be come next week in Bahrain?
Oh, it is all happening. Surely not. Furious and Ghost King side by side as they head through the Parabolica. I don't think Brando's going to take victory, but look at this. It's two cars, well, 4 cars side by side pretty much. It is a absolute cracker. Surely not. Ryan, can he get enough overspeed as they head down the start finish straight for the final time? I don't think he is. Joe Murphy up into 4th place with Furious. I think there's a little bit of contact there, but Ryan up into 6th place. His points is going to continue. Barracu disqualified from the session, but that is not him. Please don't think that was him, ladies and gents. But Joe Murphy still in with a shout in the background. 2D trying to get past Ghost King, but we've got to stay on board with these guys. I think Flotman has got a great chance of breaking it this time around, but Brando, fair play, 2nd place at the moment, as we'll just wait and see for the carnage to unfold.
It looks all but complete for TTM Flotman. It could be what was going to be a very tantalising final lap for him turns out to be one of the coolest, calmest laps he's going to have. Joe Murphy, by the way, great a final lap he's had. He's up into 4th place, potentially on a 3rd place, because he's right on the back of Furious Ghost King, potentially losing more. Cameron Downs is going to gain 8th place. Luckily, you can see on the back of Joe Murphy, he's going to try and go for a TTM Furious, but crucially at the front though, it's still TTM Flopman's day. He's been ahead, he's always been a mistake into the corner. It might not be over yet. Brando's catching, he might just get him on the line. Brando Flopman holds out in the end. Flopman will take it on the line. Brando's 2nd, Furious holds on the 3rd. Paula Congan beats Joe Murphy to 5th place in line as well. What a finish to this race. It was 3 wide between Paula Congan, Joe Murphy and Ryan. Tom Robertson there as well. What a finish in Monza. Flopman takes victory.
I've got no words. Oh my goodness me. What an end. What an absolute beautiful end to this Grand Prix. Heart in mouth moments for so many drivers. It was all kicking off. Oh, Flopman, he nearly gave it away. And then Brando nearly taking it. It was so close on so much. Oh, goodness me. While we wait for this, I just want to make sure, that what I see on the leaderboard when it comes up now is actually correct. 0.026, I think, was one of the... I don't know. I don't think it's going to show us. It's the black screen. Or I don't know if it's showing it for you, but it's the black screen for me, unfortunately. It might do it. I'm not sure. It's crazy, isn't it? It's what a. But eventually, I'll get my words back, and we'll be able to talk about this one properly, won't we? And I think there's a little bit of issue throughout. Yeah, it's not going to come. That's annoying. No proof of how ridiculous that race was. I'm sure it will come through for some people, but Ross, I don't know if we can sum that race up really, especially the end.
That was potentially the greatest finish we've ever seen in a WOR race in a very long time. That was incredible. So many battles all the way across the line. Every position mattered. You've seen it. And all of a sudden, as I said, TTM Flopman has entered the title race. Welcome back, Flopman. That is a crucial 25 points. Cameron Dowd only scoring 8th place in the end. Joe Murphy losing out in the end, more points. Furious held out for a better position. Goodness me, honestly, that is an incredible ending. I do believe Flopman, by the way, might just lead the championship. Might just be a Flopman Cameron Furious championship, but I think Furious outscored Cameron enough to claim 2nd, so it might be a Flopman Furious Cameron 1, 2, 3 in the championship. I have no idea, but it just goes to show why every single race matters so much.
And I'm talking about that. Let's have while I just duck out of the screen for a second. I will bring up said calendar. As it is, it's all of a sudden got even more importance to it now next week. 4 rounds remaining. I didn't think we were going to get as... It's just been one of those seasons, hasn't it, so far? So Bahrain, Mexico, Saudi Arabia and Japan. I mean... Whew. I don't know which one is more important. It's obviously going to be round 11, I think. But, yeah, there's so much happening, so much action. I don't know. I think we're going to go down to the last lap of Japan.
It honestly could go that far. We'd never ever know this championship. I mean, Flopman tonight was over 15 points behind Cameron Dowd. He's just gained all those points back in one race. It goes to, as I said before, it goes to show every single lap counts in this championship, and it is going to the wire as we all want it to be. Cameron Dowd led the championship. TTM Flopman lead the championship now, and then of course Furious will be 2nd. Cameron Dowd will be 3rd. Will there be steward reports? We don't know, but for what we see in front of us,
we have got a very, very good championship battle on our hands.
It's incredible, and maybe there was a little bit of TTM-ness about it as well, because the final corner, Furious definitely gave Joe Murphy a run for his money around Parabolica, making him go around the long side. And I think that's why Volokongan was able to get that position, was because it was so dirty out there off the racing line that, you know, off the normal racing line, I should say. And it's, wow, I don't know. It was so close. Then with Flotman nearly making a mistake, I'm surprised that his trousers wouldn't be brown after that one, because it probably would be for mine. That was so close, and to lose it like that would have been heartbreaking as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. The way he wobbled at the final, coming out the exit of Parabolica, I thought it's going to happen here. Brando was catching slowly but surely. It was going to be a home race win as well. We did have an Italian in the lobby. Brando was our Italian. Unfortunately, it did not come for him in the end. He'll be gutted he doesn't a home race win, but all we can say is that what a performance in the end. Staying out was the right call. I did feel like it was going to be a lot to do for the guys on the softs and the new mediums. I did say that it was going to be a long trip ahead of them, but you know, Flotman and Brando, what a finish for them. Furious as well, taking those final points. And Volokongan, by the way, as well. Remember, Volokongan was last at one point in that race. Volokongan home in fourth, just ahead of Joe Murphy on the line. Yeah, what a race. What a race.
Amazing. Such a great race. I'm just checking to see if we're going to get any visitors this week. It doesn't look like. I don't know if it's something we said, Ross. I don't think we're going to get visitors this season, which is a shame. But hopefully, well, we might force them next week. Don't forget, there's plenty of action here in WR still to come. And if it's anything like tonight, you'll be in for a treat, especially that last lap. Ross, final words and final take from that Grand Prix.
The takeaway is a bit, I say again, we have got a championship fight on our hand, ladies and gentlemen. We can only expect that every single week. How close the racing was, how good it was, everyone was battling fairly. The moves were getting done as they should have, and as you can see how easy it is for the championship to completely flip on its head. Cameron Dow's led tonight. Cameron Dow's now sits in third. That's my takeaway.
Fantastic. And you know what? I don't think at any point was it. Well, it's been an amazing race, and I mean, there's a lot to take away. Was it a flying Joe Murphy? No. Was it a flying Scotsman in Cameron Dowd? No. It was a Flotman that took victory here tonight, and it was done in, well, not the way he would have wanted, but it's still stylish nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. Please keep out on all our socials, or all WR's socials, to catch the next races, because it is going to be absolutely amazing with all the Bahrain races coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.